Anything that has words or images that is used to communicate something to an audience.
That's someone who takes pretty pictures and makes them into an ad.
Advertising, hats.
Doing artwork with the computer.
Making brochures and company logos and possibly like product logos and a lot of website design.
Basically anything in print generally that has text. Most of the time I think in terms of text, but logo would be different logos would be an example. Are there any kind of publications, text, and pretty much anything.
Designs used for modeling mechanical works, or I guess it could be used for blueprinting.
Any form of art or anything that I guess negotiably could be considered art. That could be used for promotional materials or for enjoyment or just, clothing, whatever.
Using the computer to make images that human hands could otherwise not.
Video game designs and 3D movie designing.
Posters, t-shirts, things like that. You use computer programs to create designs for companies or anything like that they, need done. Graphic design. Designing graphics. Well, like this that's on my t-shirt now, that's a graphic design.
I believe websites tend to involve graphic design.
A website or brochures.
Posters.
Movies.
Star Wars, Episode 3.
Working on or modifying a real-life picture. Could be for movies, TV shows, publicity, anything.
Pens, advertising for a company.
Signs, basically every sign for every business was designed by somebody.
Billboards, commercials, say magazine.
Think of the symbols on a dollar bill, for example. Everyone uses dollars all over the world.
Mainly for map making.
I'm sure it makes my life a little more colorful.
It means I can watch movies and believe that they're actually real.
It means that I didn't use my degree because I went to school for graphic design. I have a BFA in graphic design from the University of Connecticut, and I sell plants instead. But I think I use the design aspect and the fine art aspect of it in my day-to-day life.
It means that I get awesome t-shirts at concerts with Bad A logos and stuff on them.
More than a couple.
Yes, my oldest brother is a graphic designer.
Yes, I do. The man that I worked for.
I have actually had to use a graphic designer for my business before, now that I think about it.
Yeah, actually, I got one hired on at the job that I work at for University Relations, my friend Destiny Hancock.
Yeah, my buddy Ken Sones is a graphic designer for Zone Graphics.
No.
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 I do not. I don't have any friends that are graphic artists.
No.
No.
No, I think I cannot.
No, I cannot.
I have no clue.
Walt Disney, animated, but that's kind of stretching it.
Unless you would want to say like artists in general, like Michelangelo or something, had something to portray in a work of art or something that would be a design of some sort.
Ah. I don't know. Is George Lucas?
Does Michelangelo count, since the Sistine Chapel is pretty much defined by the Sistine Chapel?
Norman Rockwell, the Saturday Evening Post pictures.
What is that guy's name? Eddie... There's the guy that does like the tiger thing. I don't know his name specifically. Eddie something, I think. I don't know.
Ed Hardy, he has those really design crazy shirts.
I do not.
No.
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 How could graphic design be wrong?
Well, yeah, I'm saying I guess you could design some not quite so family-friendly graphics, but in general, it sounds just like any other field. Nothing wrong with graphic design.
I think it transcends morality.
I've seen some that seemed a little offensive, you know, on occasion people go a little overboard with certain designs, but for the most part I really don't even think that it has much of a moral implication.
You shouldn't unnecessarily exploit anyone.
They should not reveal so much. I mean, I have a moral dilemma when Victoria's Secret commercials come on TV.
When it's an understood imagination, understood not possibly to be real, then I think it's okay. But I think if you make something look real when it's not, I think maybe there's a fine line there.
It's a tool, and it's how the person behind that tool chooses to use it, and generally it's a fairly neutral type of thing.
Or if the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue is right there at the checkout stand and for very young children to view. I'm a teacher of young children, and I just think that they should be shielded and protected. If they want to sell that, fine, but it needs to be behind a brown paper wrapper.
I think it's wasteful.
Most businesses, the cost is put over such a large number of items that it has very little influence in the overall cost.
I think it's worth it. I think in proportion to what people spend, the cost that they're paying is not primarily because of the graphic design, it's because of the name behind the graphic design, it's because of that brand. And people are willing to spend more for certain brands or certain designs.
I am very drawn towards the store label and not the big name label. And there's usually anywhere from 7 cents to 12 cents difference in the price. And to me, the product is the same. I don't know why they spend all that money to look so pretty and to make it so attractive when most people I know shop for value.
In the cereal instance, I think if your box is ugly, nobody's going to buy it. And if it's ugly and nobody buys it, then you're not helping anyone. You're only costing your shareholders and your stockholders the money that you put into the product.
Well, I mean, it depends on the product. I mean, there's some things that, like, there's only so much you can do with a diaper. You know what I mean? Painting it up to this nice, lovely picture is only going to do so much. People buy diapers out of necessity. Whereas if it's something else, like a really cool T-shirt for a concert or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to want that because it's awesome.
I think, you know, the better the design is generally, the better the product comes across. I think that the ink used and paper used in packaging, you know, frequently kind of goes above and beyond in most cases. You know, we've all fought with, you know, especially having kids with Barbie doll boxes. You know, you've got the box, you've got lots of ink that's been used on it, you've got lots of plastic and all of these other things to put that package together and design it. And it goes in the trash after you spend 45 minutes trying to rip the thing apart.
If you can either make a really high quality product and make $500,000 profit, or you can make a poor quality product and make $1 million, well, what are you going to do? The only logical alternative is make money. You know, that's what the idea is for advertising: make money.
I think it's necessary, especially from a commercial point of view.
It helps to make things more acceptable. Plain packaging, plain signs, everything in black and white would be kind of dull, and the world would be lifeless.
In the 20th century, it's made everything so much more commercialized. You know, commercials are everywhere, and of course that can have negative effects. In some instances, so many times the idea is brought through that you're not going to be cool unless you have this. You're not going to be cool unless you buy these shoes or own this product or own this toy or own this car. And although that can be negative, as a whole, you can't really fault. I don't think you can fault anyone in graphics design for trying to sell their product, because that's what they're doing. That's how they make a living.
I think everybody needs that kind of niche, do what they're good at, and a graphic designer, you know, does graphics. So yeah, I think it's good for society. It doesn't hurt. I mean, I don't see any detrimental effects of graphic design.
As far as the overall society, I don't think it has a great impact as far as how people go about their daily lives.
I don't know, I've never thought of it as bad for society, but not, you know, like Al Gore, let's hug trees good, so it's somewhere in the middle.
I think in most cases it is good, and I think that in the instances where it isn't something that you find appealing or something that you find acceptable personally, that you don't buy the product. You don't show your support for something if you don't purchase it. So I think that people should have the right to design their packages and things like that the way they see fit. But yeah, the design of certain things, Bratz dolls, things like that, sexually implicating, things for young girls, really targeting very young children in that way. I don't find it appealing, so my kids don't play with them. But I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to boycott that particular stuff.
Graphic design is good for the economy because it supplies lots of creative people with lots of jobs.
I mean, it is an industry. It helps support the artists, those people who go into the field. So it produces jobs. I think a lot of people are drawn towards packaging.
With the branding that Americans place behind everything, you need that graphic, that logo to let you know what's associated with what company, and I think it's something that people really value.
It probably increases the sales of brands or what a generic might be.
I'd say it's good for the economy because it's what gets people to buy your product.
The local town store, they send out an ad every week, and we look through that and see what their deals are, and that's what we shop for at their store for, and we compare prices. It does help us make wise choices with our money, and I think that it does convince people to let go of some of that money.
It's not even relevant.
I don't like this new animation that they have out where they have like the real people and then they've colored over them so that they don't look real. That is just freaky looking.
Sometimes when you see the same thing over and over, it gets kind of annoying.
I'd like to see solid lines go away. Signs that, or packaging that have orders on everything. It's kind of boring and boxy.
It really annoys me to see all these shirts with just graphics everywhere on everything. It's like, could we think of maybe a more creative style for the shirt, maybe interesting sleeve lengths.
A whole emo status, like skulls on everything. Like, really? I mean, can't you come up with something else? Come up with like a really funky, dark looking, pony.
I think neon I have a problem with. And those, what is that, LCD? The LCD neon, those screens that you see on the side of the road. Less packaging, less box. If the products are getting smaller, I have no problem with that. I understand the economy. We need to make something smaller. Girl Scout cookies got smaller this year. They put in a bigger plastic tray so that it was the same size box. I don't see that as being an upswing and a selling point. I see that as being wasteful.
Graphic design towards children that are cartoon-esque, like for cigarette industry or things that are bad for people.
Sex appeal always has a nice role in advertising, and that's not always something that's too pleasant and family friendly. But I don't really feel that the government should ever censure or block that, because as soon as you start crossing lines like that, where do you draw the boundary? Where do you stop?
I like the advertisements that they have for colleges.
I've seen in the past some different abstract ads that they were very consistent. You always knew that related to this particular car or this particular, product.
People are talking in text language. I think that needs to be incorporated more. We're not living in the 20th century anymore. It's a new time, and I think graphic design is changing, and I think it needs to continue to do that.
Well, I think particularly on websites, it's important for it to be easy to read.
Jokingly, I and a couple of my friends always say that what always sells are animals, little cute little furry guinea pigs or dogs or whatever.
Just like really unique designs. Like I saw this one, and I wish I could remember the name of the guy who did it, because I'm really into art and stuff like that. But it was like this lion and it had this, and it was biting on the back of the zebra, but there was this rainbow shooting out of the back of it, and it was just a really cool design.
Yeah, I don't mind muted tones of you know, the soy inks and things like that. I tend to find those, I think, more appealing usually than shiny, neon packaged, you know, bright things.
Different ways to use graphics other than the typical, other than clothing and promotional materials, you know, I don't know. Windows, okay. That probably sounds really random, but I don't know. They have stained glass, why not graphic glass?
I just like the Hershey's edge.
I know that the economy right now looks kind of rough out there. Going into graphic design is a huge dream, and it takes a lot of effort. You have to be very creative to get into this field, and you may have to move to where the jobs are, to the bigger cities, to where the money is. It's going to be tight for a while, but even if you have to work for the little things, the little jobs, just to get your foot in the door, this is your real dream and it's really what you want to do, don't give up on it just because the economy's bad right now.
If all else fails, just get a higher degree. That's something my brother had to do, and he went back to college and, you know, he got a job and really likes it.
I think be a little more conservative.
Make it creative and make it your own.
Be truthful in their advertising. Also, green is good.
You might look back towards stuff they've used in the 60s and 70s.
Always be very innovative, because the number one thing in advertising is it gets very redundant sometimes. If you ever watch your TV, how many times every car commercial looks alike. It's always the same thing, some car driving off in a beautiful scenery and it's driving really fast and there's some nice looking person at the wheel. So I guess you've always got to be innovative.
Don't get wrapped up in I have to do exactly what my major is when I'm in school. But if you know, you follow through with that and you find that it's not something that you know, always feel inspired to do, then, you know, don't let it get you down and you'll find a way to incorporate it into your life later. I design with flowers instead, you know. I mix color. I use my color theory in planting instead, so, and it's worked out.
Open your mind. Don't. You can't have can't in your heart. You know, just put it out there. Do whatever. You know, if you think it's going to make a good design, put it out there. Try it. You know, because I mean, the worst case scenario is that it doesn't work out, but at least you tried it.
Enjoy doing what you do.
I think it's really great for artists and graphic designers to have that particular outlet, which is a very realistic market to go into for artists, and allows more people to get degrees in art and have good solid field to go into, where I believe art used to be not as a practical of a degree.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Graphic design is pretty cool.
Go Red Wings!
I love it. Good job so far. You guys make shirts like this possible. So thanks.
If you're designing anything, keep Tyra Banks off of it. She needs to drop off the face of the earth.
Good luck. I hope that you sell lots of products.
Stick with what you do and keep it up, because you're doing a heck of a job.
All of you, good luck. Hopefully there'll be jobs out there. That would be really good.
I wish you all luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Good luck.
The design graphic class of 2009 NSU Tahlequah. Salute!